Good morning, campers. It is Saturday, June 18th. I'm just leaving the Seth Warner shelter, and boy, what a difference a day makes. Yesterday it was mild, temps low 70s, I'd say, windy, but the wind was a welcome relief from the the warmth and the humidity. Just helped keep you cool while you're hiking. Last night, great night. I got into bed. I was actually warm. Started sweating a little bit. By morning, I woke up and I'm like, is that rain? And apparently it had rained at some point. Not a lot. The trail is just barely damp, but it was enough to get the leaves wet in the trees. And so every time the wind blew, it was blowing water off the leaves, and that's what I was hearing. So it wasn't actually raining, it was just the rain that had happened earlier falling off the tree leaves as the wind shook the trees. And cold. It probably got down to 40 last night, surprisingly enough. I got cold in the night a little bit. I had to snuggle up inside underneath my quilt, because all I have on is a t-shirt and a pair of shorts underneath my quilt. Oh, sorry, I gotta navigate some rocks here. So today, heading to, I think it's called like Minerva Hinchy Shelter or something weird like that. 13.1 miles. So not a big day. There are, I should say, two big climbs. There's a big climb early on. I want to say it's like 1,200 feet, maybe even 1,500 feet climb. And then there's a climb at the very end, just before the shelter. As happens so often. You're almost to the shelter, and then they make you climb some steep, crazy thing. So I'm hoping, it's supposed to get up to like 60s today. Cooler than yesterday, obviously. The dampness will also keep it cool. My fingers are numb right now. Kind of wish I had my brush tail possum gloves this morning. But hopefully this morning is just a one-off. I mean, here we are. We're almost 3 weeks into June, and it's cold in Vermont, and I'm not that high up. I'm not at a real high elevation right now. But anyway, crossing some boards right now, a little boardwalk. So that's what's going on. I'm just gonna take it easy. It's 13.1 miles. I'm not gonna rush. It's 8 o'clock. Plenty of time, get to camp by 5. Just, going nice and easy. Don't want to hurt myself, don't want to trip. So a lot of this trail is just kind of rocky and wet and muddy. This is why they call it Vermud. They say to avoid Vermont until after Memorial Day weekend. We are 3 weeks past that, and it's just starting to dry up enough that it's not a complete mudslog, but lots of tree roots, as you can see, and lots of rocks, lots of obstacles. You can just see how just this network of tree roots. These can get real slippery when they're wet. So this is kind of slow going. Climbing over in between all this nonsense. Ugh. Gosh, I've only got 5.5 miles, but it's going to take me at least 3 hours for this kind of stuff. Buddy, here. Get up on my hand. Come on, dude. Come on, buddy. You can do it. Come on, buddy. Get up on my fingers. Come on. Come on, dude. Come on. Why are you being difficult? Why are you being difficult? I'm trying to help you here. Come on, you gotta get off the trail, bud. Come on, time to get off the trail. Climb up in my hand. Alright, tell you what. I'll get you on a leaf. Get you on a leaf. There we go. Let me get you on that leaf. Now I can pick up the leaf. Okay? Okay, buddy? Okay, here we go. We're getting on a leaf. No, don't go under the leaf. Sorry. Trying not to I don't have to be rough with you, bud. There you go. Further, a little bit further. There you go. How you doing, buddy? Hi, buddy. Yeah, we're gonna get you off the trail, okay? We're gonna put you down over here. Oh, don't want you falling. There you go. Stay over there. Stay off the trail, you're gonna get squashed. So I just took a short break, the 2-hour mark, 10 o'clock, and I was only about 3.5 miles in. The terrain has been a little rocky, a little muddy, a little rooty, tree roots, and there's some big uphill. I checked the terrain profile, and I have a slight uphill in front of me, which I'm doing right now, and then it's mostly downhill. Downhill pretty much all the way to the shelter where I'm going to take my next break. That's another 3.6 miles. So I'll take my lunch break there, have my Triscuits and peanut butter, and push on from there. But kind of slow going today, about a 1.7, 1.8 mile an hour pace. That would get me into camp. About 8 hours of hiking. So with my breaks, figure get to camp around 5, ballpark. So we'll see how close I am. How you doing? How you doing, little pal? You look like a little koala bear. Yeah. Hey, cute little guy. Okay, I just took a break at the Congdon shelter, which was about the 7-mile mark, which means I have about 6 miles left. A little less than that. I've been walking for a little bit, maybe closer to 5.5. In any event, it's really gotten colder. It got down to probably the low 40s last night. I started getting chilly, and it started out cold, mid 40s when I hit the trail, and it got to mid 50s. Feels like it's dropped again. So I don't know what's going on, if we're getting an Arctic air mass from Canada or what, but here we are, the latter half of June, and we're having a cold snap. I'm gonna have to put my fleece or my puffy on when I get to camp. My hands are cold. I met another hiker, Uniball. He said his hands and arms were numb. He thinks part of it is his shoulder straps on his pack, but in any event, it's gonna be a cold one tonight. I'm gonna have to tent, batten down the hatches, put my straps from my quilt around my sleeping pad. I haven't done that yet. I've only had the new quilt for a few days, 3 nights or whatever, and I've just laid it across myself like a blanket. But I'm gonna have to put the straps on the sleeping pad so I can attach the quilt to it and kind of get it kind of tucked in around me a little bit, keep out the drafts, keep the heat in. It is a 30-degree quilt, so if it drops to 40, it'll be a little chilly, but I should be plenty warm to stay asleep. And I could always put my puffy on to sleep if I needed to. I don't have any leggings to sleep in though, just shorts. So my legs could get a little cold. I could put my rain pants on, I suppose, to trap some body heat, but it might not feel nice. But in any event, we'll see. As long as it's not windy. It was windy last night, all day yesterday. It's a little bit windy right now, not terrible. But if the wind dies down, even if it gets cold, then I can batten down the hatches and keep some of the warmth inside the tent, and I should be okay. And they've got all kinds of flags and markers and stuff here around the trail. I don't know what's going on, but all right, we better figure out what they're doing here. They might be rerouting the trail. I gotta look for the blaze. All right, I'll check in later. Okay, so check this out. This tree is hollowed out all the way up. But it still has leaves. It's still a living tree. When I zoom in, you can see it's hollowed out all the way up there. Look at that. And yet, it's still alive. That's amazing. So this is the third time that the trail takes you between two giant boulders that are split in half. This is actually called Split Rock. This is just uphill past the Bennington trailhead, or the trailhead that's nearest to Bennington, Vermont. But it's nice and wide, easy to pass through. It's kind of cool though. Just making the climb from that parking lot where there was some trail magic. They had a whole table set up. It's a nice family. I guess the husband's planning on through hiking the AT in 2024. They had a pot of hot dogs, keeping hot, and a lot of cookies. Their daughter made some homemade cookies. They had chips and crackers and sodas and Gatorades. So I had like 3 cookies, some potato chips, a Powerade, and a Pepsi. And I hung out there for a good 45 minutes or so. So less than a mile to the shelter. The guide indicates there's not good tenting options. I guess we'll see when we get there. But if I have to sleep in the shelter, I will. Not my favorite, especially on a chilly, windy night. If it's going to be chilly and windy, it's supposed to get down to like 41. So I'd prefer, obviously, to be in a tent where I could close it up tight and keep the drafts out. But we'll see what the situation is. That fungus with that little greenery on top, that looks like a little winter cap. Little net winter cap on the side of a tree. So there's a sign for Melville Nauheim shelter. I can see it through the trees. Let's see if there's anyone else there. It's an older shelter. Might be kind of creepy if I'm there by myself. There was a pretty nice tent site about 1/10 of a mile south of here, but not near a water source. There's a little brick farther up the trail. So I don't know. Check this out in a minute here.